One.
Hi, everyone. This is Craig Proctor, and thank you for tuning into the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Today, it's my pleasure to welcome our member, Mauro Bucci from Aurora, Ontario, Canada. He's just opened up a Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty Brokerage. Mauro, thank you so much for being with us, and congratulations on all your success.
Thanks, Craig. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here with you today.
Now, we were talking before we got started a little bit about your background. So why don't you share with everybody, how we first got together, a little bit about a history with us, and where you're taking this and why you decided to open your own Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty Brokerage.
So I'm basically originally from Montreal. I moved to Ontario about 16 years ago. Was doing it on my own for the longest time. Then about 3 years ago, Angie came to me and she says, you know what? You gotta go see this guy. So she came to your conference, and like many of us who work with our wives, she came back, she said, you gotta do this. So for 2 years, believe it or not, I wish I hadn't waited that long, but for 2 years, I was like, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm busy in my business. I don't have time for this. I'm glad you liked it. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. 2 years later, I got in some sort of an email or something. I think it was Facebook maybe. And there was an invitation there. And I said, you know what? I got this invitation from this guy, Craig Proctor. And she's like, listen, this is the guy that I spoke to you about 2 years ago. Let's go. So we went to the conference in Toronto, the half day.
Yeah, hey, but Mauro, now you could say now it was your idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, good for Angie. Okay, so Angie was kind of tugging at you. You got to get involved with Craig. So finally, you got an email, and then you attended one of our conferences?
So we attended the one in Toronto, the half day one.
Yep.
And we immediately signed up for it. I was sold, and then slowly we started seeing the benefits of it. I don't know that I took it, to be honest, as seriously as I should have, until I got my coach, Kristen Stampini, last year. Like she was a game changer for me.
She really is. Now, what do you like about, we talk about real estate coaching, and, most people, when they think of real estate coaching, they think, well, it's somebody that's, going to motivate me or just keep me accountable. But tell us what you love about Coach Kristen Stampini.
First of all, her energy is incredible. And then it was the fact that she kept us accountable. Every month, she wanted to see my numbers. She wanted to go through them, understand what I was doing, where I was headed, that kind of stuff. So for the first time in 16 years, I was able to break the $1 million GCI in 1 year. I was always hovering around the 700, 500, but I could never break through to the million, right? So I finally did it.
Well, congratulations. I mean, that's quite an accomplishment. I mean, how many real estate agents, surpass $1 million in GCI in a year? Not many.
Not many, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah. But now there's no looking back. What do you think you're going to do, in the next year? What's your goal for the next 12 months?
Well, I'd like to hit at least what I did the last 12 months, which is $1 million. But there's not only that, there's a lot that happened to me since joining your organization. You mentioned it earlier. I bought a license to operate a Your Home Sold Guaranteed Brokerage. I also purchased a property in Aurora. We renovated it, made it our office. And these are all things that I can say it all came because of the system, because I would have never thought of it. I was a one-man show for 15 years. And, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, so you want to have a team? I wouldn't have known where to start, what to do, how to do it. And we now have 3 great realtors working with us. So we're a team of 5. We have a virtual assistant that takes care of our marketing. And Angie pretty much oversees all the back office, all the back end, and the marketing. So this is something that I would have never, ever imagined.
It's a lot more fun, isn't it, than just being a solo agent?
It is. It is. You're not by yourself. You have a team. You work together for a common goal, and everybody wants to make money.
So, what parts of the job are you doing? Like, what are you focusing on? What does Angie focus on? And let's talk about your vision for this team.
So right now, because we're a new team, I'm focusing on working directly with the OSAs. Angie's taking care of all the marketing stuff and overseeing the marketing, making sure that it's proctorized. I have a slide. I don't know if Faith wants to show it, so you can get an idea of what we're doing.
Sure, Faith. You want to pop up those PowerPoints?
We're pretty much.
And you're really good at getting referrals, right? So you've always been good at that.
So 90% of my business, when I track my results, is strictly repeat and referral business. And the reason why is because I pay attention to my clients. I make sure, a lot of people say, I'm honest, I'm this, I'm that, but it's more than that. It's about being able to bring them opportunities where they can do well. And then they go out and they talk to their family members or their friends. And so that's what I've been successful at, creating a good relationship with them. And it's not always about real estate. Sometimes I'll just call and say hi, see how they're doing, what's happening, or if they do something that I could use, like for example, during the renovation, I needed the HVAC, air conditioning, heating. So I got one of my clients taking care of it. He took care of it all. And, so that's the kind of stuff. It's a give and take. And when you do well for them, it just like, it spreads like a spider web. Like it's just, they tell a few people and suddenly I get a phone call. Hey, so-and-so spoke to me about you. He bought that property, he made some money. Can you find me one like that too? And so, through these referrals, I ended up meeting some very powerful people like land developers, builders. It's allowed me to open up. It's not just about, for me anyways, it's not just when they call me, they know that they're going to get an answer, whether it's commercial, industrial, residential. I do it all. But now I want to bring my business to focus more towards residential. If I had to say, where do I see myself in the next 2 years? I'd like to have a team, something in and around the 15 OSAs, probably 3 ISAs with myself and Angie, and maybe an office manager. That's where I would see myself in the next 2 years.
You said you can take that away now, Faith. You said for years you were a solo agent, and we've all been. That's where we all started as solo agents. And when Angie first came to you, said, "Hey, you got to hear about this Craig Proctor guy." We get locked into being a solo agent. I mean, that's what we know. That's what we're trained to do. And then we realize that we're so limited by that. Right? Like, how many homes can you sell as a solo agent? It's really kind of a bad job because you're locked into, like, you can't go on vacation because your business stops. And most agents never jump out of that. They're just locked into being a solo agent, and they work and they work and they work until they can't work anymore. And, before we got started, I said, the office I used to be at, if I was to walk in there today, I could meet agents that were selling real estate 30 years ago when I started, and some of them are in no better position today because it's just really a bad job. If you were a good salesperson, you worked at corporate America or Canada, you'd make probably $150,000, $200,000 a year. The company would pay for all the leads. You probably have a company car. You'd have a few weeks vacation. None of that exists as a solo agent in real estate. So now that you've made a leap to team leader, you've got some leverage, right? You're making your life, Angie's life, the entire team now has a better experience because you've built this thing so you can totally leverage your life, and it's actually a business, not just a job as a solo realtor. When you're recruiting agents, why do the agents here in York region, what would attract them to come and work with you? Like, what would you say to a realtor to motivate them to want to come and join up with your team?
It's the best brand to be with. Like, if you're going to partner with any brand today and going forward right now, Your Home Sold, guaranteed for me is the number one brand. You know, I'm going to go back to Bill Watson. I remember attending a conference where he mentioned that when he made the switch, you know, the phone rang and someone said, I want to sell my house. Well, that recently happened to us. It never happened to me in 16 years ever. We switch brand. All of a sudden, I get a lady calling. She's like, I want to sell my house. And we were like, wow, this is unbelievable. Like, so if people are looking, or agents, new agents that are looking for the proper training, thinking out of the box and doing things differently and not be like everybody else, this is the team or the company to join. I'm in New York region. I'm going to do a bit of recruiting here. If there's anybody listening to this and you're looking for a solid broker and a broker with a good reputation, we're available, man. Come and meet us. We're on 28 Wellington Street West in Aurora.
Yeah, right in my backyard. And so let me explain it this way. When Mauro says it's it's the number one brand, I want everyone to consider how people buy services and products today. How many of you would agree that even if you're going to go out with a bunch of your friends to a restaurant, the first thing you might do is you go to Google and you might type in restaurants local or the name of a restaurant. If you Google any of the major real estate brands, Remax, or if you're in Canada, Royal LePage or Keller Williams, just Google that and look at how many search results come up, and then type in your home sold. There's no competition. See, this is a benefit-rich company name. This is what people want. They want their home sold guaranteed. The whole brand has been designed around what buyers and sellers really want. Now, when you get into real estate in Canada or in the United States, by law, you have to hang your license with a brokerage. That's the law. And so I want everyone watching this to think about how much money you give your brokerage. So for me, I was with Remax for years and years. I don't know what I paid. My team and I probably paid well over $100,000 a year. And in exchange, I got permission to advertise the balloon. But what your home sold guaranteed realty, what our brokers get is they get an operating system. Okay, like with most franchises, you're not getting a lead generation system, are you? You're not getting a conversion system. You're not getting a presentation system. You're certainly not getting a system to recruit, hire, train, and manage. So when I started coaching realtors back 30 years ago, we taught agents how to be good solo agents, right? There were no teams. And I was the first agent in North America that I know of that had a team. So I was never a broker. I was just, an agent in the broker's office. And I was tired of working 24/7 and I had an overflow business. So that's how the whole team, back then we called it a team concept. Well, Mauro, it's no longer a concept because over the last 30 years, lots of agents have caught on to the idea that this is how you have a business inside of real estate versus having a job as a solo agent. So your home sold guaranteed realty exists because we offer the operating system that we believe other franchises should offer, but don't. So we're filling a void in the marketplace. So anybody watching this, you're with a traditional franchise, just ask you one question. How much do you pay them every year and what do you get in return? Okay, because what Mauro gets is a total operating system here from how to set it up, how to set the brokerage up, how to make it run, how to create an overflow of leads, because that's why other agents are going to want to come and work at your brokerage if you've got an overflow and abundance of buyers and sellers. And then it's, as your business grows, you have other problems, Mauro, right? But they're just different problems.
Yep. Well, right? The everyday managing of the business and making sure that people are out there and representing us properly in the brand and making sure that things are done right. But yeah.
They're better problems, right? My father always says the only guy that doesn't have any problems is 6 feet under. So yeah. I guess we're always going to have problems. But, when you and I first met, your problem most likely, like most realtors, is you didn't have enough business. Now you've got the opposite problem. You've got an abundance of business. You've got so much business that you and Ange couldn't possibly handle it all, which is good. We solved one problem. We solved the lead generation problem, but we've created a new problem, which is how do we recruit and hire and coach up this awesome team? Because you provide your clients with such great service, you want to make sure that the people you hire that carry your banner and work with your clients are going to provide that same level. So that takes coaching, and as the owner of the company, being involved in the selection of the realtors that work on your team, and then just constantly coaching them up so they get the best results for you and for the client.
The other thing too, Craig, is that, our mindset here at Your Home Sold Guaranteed, I find, is we're looking for rock stars. We're looking for people that are motivated. We're not just taking, like, for example, any other company. They just, they hand out a ticket. You come in, they give you a ticket.
That's right.
They do nothing for you. You pay the fees. As long as you keep paying the fees, they won't bother you. That's not what we're looking for. So,
well, they actually have it tested at most offices. It's called the fog the mirror test. And if you can fog the mirror, you can sit over here in the cubicle. But yeah, the nice thing about this is because you actually provide real business opportunities for agents, they're attracted to this. So you've got the luxury of choice too. Just like the agents on your team have the luxury of choice. You've got so many buyers and sellers coming to you that you don't have to work with everybody. That's really, an important point I want everyone to consider. It's not just how much money you make, it's how you make the money. I think all of us have had the experience of working with a buyer or seller that doesn't treat us well. They're disrespectful, or they lie to us, or they just fight with us all the way through the transaction. Well, Mauro doesn't have to deal with that anymore. He's got an overflow of business. Imagine waking up every morning and, realizing, hey, since I can't work with all the buyers and sellers, who am I going to choose? Obviously, you choose the most motivated, the most sincere, the most ready to act buyers and sellers in your database. Those are the opportunities that are afforded to you when you're a realtor at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And folks, you're going to see these brokerages popping up all over Canada, the United States. We're right at around 100 of them now. And that's pretty good considering that this was just a vision like about 2 years ago. So you'll start to see these pop up. And these are entrepreneurs, okay? These are real estate agents, not just someone that came along and bought a brokerage, but these are real estate entrepreneurs like Mauro that says, you know what? I don't want to just be a real estate agent. And I don't even just want to have a team. I want to have a sellable asset. I want to build something that's big. I want to build something successful. I want to build something that everyone inside this company is going to benefit from. That's what Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty is about. It's not just a logo. Like, again, going back to my days, what did I get in exchange for my $100,000 a year? I mean, literally, I got to advertise a balloon, right? That's what I got. And so when I mention that to realtors, it gets them thinking. It's like, yeah, there's Mauro, there's a broker owner. We won't mention his name. It's a guy you would know. And he said that when he opened his, he went from being a real estate agent to being a broker owner. Now, this is before Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. He said, he goes, what blew him away is how much money real estate agents would pay him as the broker. And he goes, I literally did nothing in return. He goes, but it wasn't like they could leave my company and work for another brokerage and get something better, because he goes, in my marketplace, he was in Phoenix. He goes, in my marketplace, if they left me and they went and worked for another franchisor broker, they also paid a lot of money and got nothing in return. So he realized anything that I do above nothing is well received. And he became a very successful broker, opened up a bunch of offices. Look, real estate agents and real estate companies need an operating system, right? Just like my Apple phone here has an operating system. And this is what is lacking in the real estate industry. We get our license. Yeah, we take all the training to get the license, and then you're left to kind of figure it out. So what happens, what happened to me anyway, is I have no idea what I'm doing. When I got my license, I'm looking around at what all the other agents are doing. And I'm thinking, well, I guess that's how you do it. So I'm sitting there like an idiot, cold calling and door knocking and begging for referrals and sitting in open houses and doing floor time. I never worked harder in real estate than that first year. And I also never made less money than my first year in real estate. Now, when I grew up my team, I never made more money in real estate and I never worked less in real estate. That's why anybody watching this is like, okay, maybe here's where the future of real estate's going. This is, and we wrote the book on this a few years ago. It's called, The Death of the Traditional Real Estate Agent and the Rise of the Super Profitable Team. When we wrote the book, what was the book about? What we predicted several years ago, that the way what's going to unfold here in the future is, as a realtor, you're going to be forced to make a choice. And the choice will be, I'm either going to be part of a super profitable sales team or I'm going to own my own. It's going to be very difficult for the solo agent doing it the traditional way to compete because Mauro has tools at his disposal that just give him a massive advantage over the other realtors in his marketplace. And, that's why other agents are going to watch this interview. And this is why, if you're in New York region, I want you to call Mauro. Don't call me. I'm not in real estate anymore. Okay. If you're outside of York region, you can call me and I'll show you how to do what Mauro's doing. You're in York region. Everything you want to do in real estate is already done by Mauro and his team. You give him a call. We'll have Mauro's contact information below in the comments. Okay. Or you can just Google it. Okay. Your home sold guaranteed realty.
I could just give it to you. 416-998-9891. My office number, 905-503-SOLD. Greg, you're mentioning that we have the systems in place, and we do. But not only do they get the benefit of learning how to navigate through real estate, the biggest mistake that they do when they teach these new agents is they give them a training, they're reading off a textbook, and then they throw them out to the world to deal with themselves. And more, I'm finding they're making mistakes on deals. Like here, you're going to get the proper training. Like, I had some colleagues, they used to call me the poster boy at Rico because I knew all the rules. I knew what to put in an offer, what not to put in, and that kind of stuff. And you're also going to get that kind of training. So we do it all. We really do.
And the great thing about working with Mauro is you're going to get not just a broker, but a mentor. That's really what he's describing right now. We get our license and they throw us out there and it's like, hey, good luck. But what we need is a mentor. Okay. Now, again, if you're not in York region, the way that you can contact me is you can book a free call with me and we could get started. Just like Mauro, you came to a conference at Angie. If Angie wasn't, encouraging you, maybe you wouldn't have been with us on this interview here today. So hats off to her. Say hi to her, by the way.
I will. Thank you.
But if you go to proctorcall.com, okay, Proctor, so my name, proctorcall.com, you can go to my Acuity day timer and pick a day and a time. And this is not a sales pitch. I would just have a conversation with you, just like when I first met Mauro, just a conversation about where you are and where you want to go. And I could lay this out and explain to you how this would work and how you would actually have a better life in real estate. That's the deal here. That's the most gratifying part. People ask me why I still do this today, because honestly, I can do an interview here with Mauro and he's like, yeah, man, my life is better. My life is better. Angie's life is better. The team is better. And every time somebody in York region does a home purchase or sale with Mauro, you know what? You just save that client from dealing with a less experienced realtor or somebody that's not going to do such a great job. So we wish this for all of you. We know that many of you watching this are entrepreneurial, and you might be in real estate thinking, is this all this is? Just being a solo agent, doing my 20 or 30 deals or whatever every year. I want you to project yourself into the future. And I want you to think about this, because I certainly thought about this. You keep doing that, what you're doing right now. How long are you going to do it for? You're going to do it for 10 years. You're going to do it for 20 years. We all know the truth. Someday you're going to get tired and you got nothing to sell. I mean, all those years you work in real estate, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you see realtors. There's no retirement party for realtors. There's no such thing. They work until they can't, and they got nothing to sell. So Mauro was like, yeah, man, I don't want to do that. I want to have a sellable asset. I want to move from a solo agent that's really just a bad job to having a team, which is a business that provides me freedom and money and a better experience in real estate. To, you know what, I'm going to have my own brokerage. I'm going to have my own Craig Proctor brokerage, a sellable asset. So every day he goes to work, and this could be true for anybody watching this. Mm-hmm. You know, you go to work every day, but you could be building equity in something for you. Instead of building it for that franchise or another franchise, you could be building something for you. Like, had you not done this more, you'd be getting up every day, going to work every day, but you'd be going to work for somebody else, this franchise or that franchise. How about, folks, we learn how to create our own business, and we have an operating system that gets us to where we want to be. So someday at the end of this, you got something to sell other than your goodwill, which you can't sell. You know, I couldn't sell myself. When I left Remax after 20 years and I moved to Florida, I couldn't sell it. Who had a more successful team than I did at the time, right? Mm-hmm. Selling 500 homes a year. But how I can't sell Craig the Remax agent, can't sell my. So having your own brokerage is something I want everyone to consider. Somebody might, well, I don't want to be bothered with that. Don't say no until you check out the opportunity. So right now, if you're watching this, you got an opportunity to have a better career as an agent at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You're in the York region, you reach out to Mauro right now. Have a conversation. There's no downside to this. It's just a conversation. But that's where all good things start.
Even if you're considering making a move, you're not sure, should I open up a brokerage, and you're listening to this, give me a call. You know, I can tell you how that is. I know, like you mentioned earlier, some people think I can't be bothered with that. It's going to be a lot of stuff and work, and then you'd be surprised how much we already do. And there's just a little bit more that you need to do to have that brokerage.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we hear from, and this might be the perception of some of you watching this right now. Oh, I don't want to have my own brokerage. I'd have to go back to school. I'd have to become a broker. No, you can hire a broker. Or there's all this other liability. You already have liability if you're a real estate agent. Look, it's not as much work as you think to have your own enterprise. So you got to really think about this. Do I want to be an owner of my business, or do I want to be a renter? You know, what do we tell buyers and sellers every day? Every day, hey man, buying's better than renting. But then we don't follow that advice with our own career. Many realtors just rent and work and work. It's an income play, and eventually they get tired. I think the stats nationally are like 80% of real estate agents do not make it to their 5th anniversary. 80%. So how can we defend the traditional way of selling real estate if it's got an 80% failure rate? You know, many come in, and some are even successful in the beginning. You know, like you see them, or they can do the sprint, but they can't do the marathon. They run out of gas. You need systems, folks. You need a lead generation system. You need conversion systems. You need presentation systems. All of this operating systems on how to operate a very successful real estate as an agent, as a team, and as a brokerage are here at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So give us your contact information one more time, Mauro, before we wrap it up.
416-998-9891, and the office number 905-503-SOLD. Thanks, Craig. It was a pleasure being on this. Thank you for the invitation, and I'll see you in Anaheim.
Yeah, we'll see you in a few weeks in Anaheim, California. Hey, all the best success here in 2022. We'll get you back on here again when you get to the next milestone and you keep growing this. But this was Mauro Bucci, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty in Aurora, Ontario, Canada, right on Wellington Street. Check him out. Contact him. You're going to see these popping up all over the place. Mauro, thanks again for doing the interview. And thanks for being part of the Craig Proctor system. We'll see you in a few weeks. And thanks to everybody for watching the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Take care.